Yo, what is good everybody, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel once again from us over here at Locust&WildHoney. So today's video should be relatively short, simple, and sweet, as we are going to be going over 5 easy steps to taking a standard black vintage t-shirt and turning it that cream colorway. Now, just before we get started, I did want to give credit where it's due. So huge shout out to the originator of this idea, Jacob Keller, the man, the myth, the legend of the OG YouTuber game. He's been doing it for a minute now, but what can I say? Mans is a model of consistency as it relates to dressing well. And he's also one of the best dudes on this platform. So shout out to you, Jacob. Now, if you guys did see his original post, then you saw how he was able to turn what was seemingly just a plain black vintage Brockham t-shirt into this beautiful cream colorway. Definitely very unique. Needless to say, when I saw that, I was like, yo, I have to try this. And apparently that sentiment was shared among a ton of different people, as the comment section was just filled with people asking how to do it, what the concoction was, how long it took, and so on and so forth. And actually there was a bunch of people in the Facebook group that attempted to do it. That said, there was a huge contingency to do this video here today, so here it is. We're gonna get it started. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here it is. This is what was formerly a black Metallica tee. Now it's this cream colorway. And so that's one thing to really consider when you're gonna pick a t-shirt to do this to treat with the bleach, is to consider what's already on the t-shirt, the color scheme, the colorway, and to decide if it'll look good, because honestly some t-shirts just look better in black. This one specifically I do think looks really clean. You got the silver Metallica font, as well as the light blue graphic and some cream writing down at the bottom, and obviously you got the silver Metallica sign on the back, as well as the tour dates being in white. But one thing is almost for certain, is that you're gonna have black contrast stitching, because obviously the stitches don't also bleach out to be cream. They're just gonna stay black. Now with that said, you're gonna need a few ingredients if you're gonna start this process. The first thing you're gonna need is bleach. Obviously this is the key component to starting this entire process. The second thing you're gonna need is access to hot water. This water is essential to somewhat dilute the mixture, as well as its high temperature being able to loosen up the fibers to let the bleach do what it's gonna do. Obviously, if you have a mixture, you're gonna have to have a container to put it in, which is why I suggest using a bucket, preferably one that's big enough to house everything that's gonna be in the mixture, as well as be able to submerge the t-shirt. So I would say the bigger the better. And then last, I would highly suggest you use a pair of thick rubber gloves, just because the nature of bleach tends to really dry out your hands. So for the sake of safety, I definitely suggest using a thick pair of rubber gloves. Now, a couple things you might not need but might be helpful are a pair of tongs to be able to check on the t-shirt, kind of pull it up from the mixture, as well as something to stir the mixture with, or kind of push the t-shirt into the mixture. For me, I did use a wooden fork, which I did find pretty helpful, but like I said, it's not exactly mandatory. So now that you have all the necessary components for the process, here are the 5 easy steps to follow to turn your black vintage tees cream. So step 1 is to create your mixture. Now there is a ton of different ways to do this, but what I found for me personally is a mixture comprised of 70% Clorox, which is exactly the entire gallon, and 30% water makes for the perfect mixture. Something to denote, guys, is it doesn't need to be exact, just more of an approximation. One thing that I did want to stress for step 1 is to make sure that water is hot. Honestly, the hotter the better, just because that's what loosens the fibers and helps the process out a ton. In fact, if it's not for the hot water, I don't know how cream you could get the t-shirt, as I doubt it would become as light. Step 2, carefully carry the bucket outside or to a place with a lot of light to be able to ensure that you're able to see the color well, as that's going to be your measuring stick as to when to pull the t-shirt out. Step 3, throw your t-shirt into the mixture and watch the magic happen. Watch the discoloration happen, because it happens almost instantly. Step 4 is a waiting process. It's actually waiting, washing, and then waiting again. Make sure you have something to do in between time, because the entire process takes about 3 hours. So for me, the shirt went into the bleach at about 3:45 p.m. Like I said, almost instantly the color began to change as the solution started to turn brown, as well as the t-shirt. shirt. This is evidence that the solution's good, the water's warm enough, and the bleach is doing its job. Now, after a bit of time, the shirt goes from dark brown to dark olive to olive, then ultimately to tan, which puts us at approximately 5:30, 1 hour and 45 minutes from when the t-shirt hit the mixture. Now, bear in mind, we are still in step 4. This is the washing phase, and this part is particularly important because at this point the mixture is starting to cool down, which is slowing down the process. So I actually take the whole bucket inside and go ahead and rinse the t-shirt in piping hot water just to reheat those fibers up again to help the process along, to expedite it. Anyways, once you've completed the rinsing process, go ahead and throw the shirt back into the mixture, take it back outside, and this is the easy part. You can go ahead and just leave it alone. For me personally, I did leave it in the mixture for an additional 1 hour and 15 minutes. And at this point, you're really starting to see the color fade out and it's becoming this cream color. Looks really, really good, but keep in mind, it is still wet. So it's a little bit darker than the final product. But once that 1 hour and 15 minutes had elapsed, I went ahead and gave it another rinse in very hot water. I squeezed it out as best as I could and simply threw it in the wash and dryer. And that essentially is the 5th and final step, which ultimately gets you to this point here, a nice cream vintage t-shirt. Honestly, I'm very, very happy with the results. I definitely love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below if you go ahead and try it. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully it's clear enough and concise enough. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this shirt. Do you guys think I ruined a perfectly good vintage shirt? Or do you like the cream aspect of these t-shirts? I definitely love to hear if any of you guys are gonna attempt it. And if you're in the Facebook group, go ahead and post pictures. I'll go ahead and start a thread for it. I'd love to see what you guys end up doing with your shirts if you guys decide to go about it. As always, guys, it is a major privilege to get to do what I get to do here on YouTube and make these videos for you. Now, with all that being said, as I end every video here at Locust&WildHoney, I'm gonna say peace and be blessed.